you think that's thunder? Oh, listen again. Does sound like thunder, doesn't it? I thought it was thunder. Well, it just goes to prove. I don't know exactly what it proves, but it must prove something. Now, there are some of you out there that aren't going to believe this story. You'll say I was drinking. Well, I'm not exactly a man who'd refuse to take a nip now and then with friends. But I swear to you, by old Nicholas Vedder's tombstone, this happened. May I burn in brimstone if a syllable I tell you is a lie. Do you know the Catskills? If you've ever voyaged up the Hudson River, you know the Catskill Mountains. They're way to the west, swelling up to a noble height and lording it over the land below. Every change of season, every change of weather, indeed every hour of the day, makes some magical change in the shape of the Catskills. The good wives, far and near, say they're perfect barometers. When the weather's fair, the Catskills are clothed in blue and purple and print their bold outlines on the clear evening sky. But sometimes, even when the day is cloudless, they will gather a hood of gray vapors about their summits, and in the last rays of the setting sun, glow like a crown of glory. I was born and bred at the foot of the Catskill Mountains. My village is old, very old, founded by the Dutch under the government of good Peter Stuyvesant, may he rest in peace. The houses are all built of small yellow bricks brought from Holland, with latticed windows and gable fronts and weathercocks.
Good evening, Rip Van Winkle.
Good evening, Mynheer Van Bommel. Nice village. Friendly village.
My fishing pole's broken, Rip.
I know a man who'll mend it for you. Good people here. Friendly. The twilights are long up the Hudson Valley, and the wood smoke hangs in the quiet air. What could please a man more than to light up a pipe full of laden shag and sit with one's fellow townsman in front of Vedder's Inn, and under the portrait of His Majesty King George III, talk out the problems of the day with Derek Van Bommel, the schoolmaster, Bram Dutcher, and old Nicholas Vedder. There was peace for a man. Peace in the palm of your hand.
When a husband spends the livelong day idling away his time and paying no attention to
That's my wife, Dame Van Winkle, a fine woman. Mother of my son, mother of my daughter. Fine woman. Yes, a fine woman.
Rip Van Winkle, where have you been keeping yourself all the day when there's work to be done? Will you tell me that?
Nicholas Vedder asked me to...
Nicholas Vedder. Why is it that you can never bring yourself to do a day's work in all your life?
My love,
I'll tell you why. Because you don't want to. Because you'd rather leave the worrying and the care of the farm and the household to your poor wife. Why I married you, I'll never know. Oh, that dog. That everlasting dog of yours. Scat, shoot, shoot. Get that dog out of here, Rip Van Winkle.
Come with me, Wolf.
Never earned so much as the picture of King George stamped on a couple pennies.
What's a man to do? Poor Wolf. Our mistress leads us a dog's life of it. But never mind, lad. Whilst I live, you'll never want a friend to stand by thee. But there was one escape, the Catskills. To climb high in the clean air, a well-oiled gun in hand, and Wolf beside me. Wolf, heel. There's no sport like squirrel hunting in the wooded hills in autumn. When a man grows tired late in the afternoon, he can throw himself down on a green knoll, and for an opening between the trees, he can overlook all the lower country for many a mile around of rich woodland. In the distance, the lordly Hudson, far, far below, moving on its silent but majestic course with the reflection of a purple cloud or the sail of a lagging catboat. Wolf, by the time we get back to the village, the supper will be cold on the table and my good wife's tongue will be hot in her head. What's the matter, Wolf? You see something down in the glen? What's moving down there? Hello?
Rip and Winkle, Rip and Winkle.
Who's that? Who knows my name? I saw him. A short, square-built old fellow with thick, bushy hair and a grizzled beard. His dress was of the antique Dutch fashion, and a cloth jerkin strapped around his waist, and several pair of breeches with rows of buttons down the side and bunches at the knees. He carried on his shoulder a stout keg, of the sort usually filled with Holland brew.
Rip and Winkle, howdy do? Have a little Catskill brew.
He motioned for me to approach and to help him carry the keg. Oh, he was such a little man, and it was such a big keg. How could I refuse? I followed the little old fellow through a ravine into a wooded hollow. There was a company of odd-looking little men playing at ninepins. They all had beards of various shapes and colors. One had a broad face with small, piggish eyes. The face of another seemed to consist entirely of nose, topped off by a white sugarloaf hat with a little red cock's tail. And there was one who seemed to be the commander. He was a stout old gentleman with a weather-beaten face. The whole group reminded me of the figures in an old Flemish painting. My little man tapped a spigot at the side of the keg.
Drinks, my hearties!
Silently, the little men stopped their game and filled their cups from the brew.
Whip and wink, have a widow, Catskill twink.
Well, I might taste a drop if you can spare it. Ooh. Not bad. Not a bad brew. Not bad at all.
Whip and Winkle, rip and rip. Have a little Catskill sip.
I will. One little old sip never hurt a man.
Whip and Winkle,
Whip and Winkle,
have a little, rip and Winkle, rip and Winkle, have a
What happened? I must have dozed off. By the ghost of good Peter Stuyvesant, I must have slept here all night. Oh, that brew, that wicked brew. What excuse shall I make to Dame Van Winkle? My musket. Where's my musket? In place of my clean, well-oiled fowling piece, I found an old firelock, a barrel encrusted with rust. Oh, those little bandits, they drugged me with their brew and robbed me of my gun. Wolf! Wolf! Now, where'd that dog of mine run off to? Oh, what's the matter with my poor joints? These mountain beds don't agree with me. I searched everywhere for my dog, my musket, and the wicked little men who had been my undoing the night before. They were nowhere to be found. So, with a heart full of trouble, I headed back for the village, dreading above all things the heated tongue of Dame Van Winkle. I walked back into my village. None of the faces were familiar.
Look at the beard. Look at the man with the funny
I didn't even recognize the dogs. Strange names were over the doors. Strange faces were at the windows. Everything was strange. Surely this was my village. There stood the Catskill Mountains, and there flowed the Hudson. Have I no friends here?
Tell us who you are, old-timer, and we'll tell you whether you have friends or not.
Alas, gentlemen, I am a poor, quiet man and a loyal subject of the king, God bless him.
King! Torrey! Hang it! Run him out of town!
Does nobody here know Rip Van Winkle?
Rip Van Winkle? That's my name. Who wants me?
That's me. That's me standing there. But if that's me, who am I?
Hush, little Rip, hush now. The old man won't hurt you.
Young lady, what is your name?
Judith Gardner.
And your father's name?
Oh, Poor man. Rip Van Winkle was his name, but it's 20 years since he went away from home and never has been heard from since.
Lass, tell me one thing. Where's your mother?
She died not long ago. She broke a blood vessel in a fit of rage at a New England peddler.
Judith, girl, I am your father. Does no one here know Rip Van Winkle?
Sure enough, it is Rip Van Winkle. Welcome home again, old neighbor. Where have you been these 20 long years?
The whole incredible story I told to them, to all of them, exactly as I have told it to you. And there were some that disbelieved it, including my son Rip, my own image leaning there against the tree. But I've proof for ye. Everyone knows that Henrik Hudson keeps a kind of vigil in the Catskills with his crew of the Half Moon. And while they keep a guardian eye upon the great river called by his name, they play at ninepin. There. Hear it? Do you think that's thunder? Any old-timer in the Catskill country will tell you that it's Henrik Hudson and his crew at a game of ninepins. And, I might add, it's a common wish of all hen-pecked husbands in the neighborhood when life hangs heavy on their hands that they might have a quieting drink out of the cup of, Rip Van Winkle.